Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to Tailor-Made Cards for You. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a card I made using a stamp from iBreak for Stamps and a technique to create the ocean. I'm working with 4 colors of distressed oxides, and I'm going to be using a sheet of acetate to create a background. The colors that I'm working with today are broken china, faded jeans, and cracked pistachio. And I took those 3 colors and swiped them onto my craft mat and then spritzed them with water. Then I took a sheet of acetate and I cut it into a small square. And then using that small square, I dipped it into the droplets of the distressed oxide and added that to my white cardstock. Now I did do this technique a couple of times, and in between each of my colors, I did dry it. What's really great about these distressed oxides is after each layer, once you dry it, the next layer of color that you add will actually go over the prior layer and it won't give you a muddy result. Now as you can see with these layers that I'm adding, it is beginning to look like splashes, and that is what I was looking for to create my ocean scene. I wanted it to look like splashes of water, and then I'm going to come in with distress ink to create the blue water. So again, I thoroughly dried my last layer, and then I'm coming in with faded jeans, distress ink to go over the distress oxides to create the ocean. So working with my blending tool, I added my faded jeans distress ink, and I'm simply rubbing that all over my white cardstock to create my ocean. Now as you can see, the splashes of water that I created with my distress oxides show through really nicely. And I can easily take my iBreak for Stamps rubber stamp and stamp right over that to make it look like my fishes are swimming in the ocean. The ink that I'm using today is archival ink, and this is the ink that I use whenever I'm working with watercolors or any of my distress inks. This is a permanent ink and it works really well because it will not smear. I'm going to actually take my fish stamp and stamp it again on some white cardstock, and then I'm going to use my Copic colors to color in the fish. And using this archival ink will ensure that the ink will not bleed and smear my image. So after I get my second piece of cardstock stamped, I'm going to go ahead and bring out my Copic colors and turn on some music while I color my fish. So once I had all 3 of my fish colored, I did use my tonic scissors to fussy cut my fish, and then I did use a rectangular stitched die cut to frame my white cardstock, which is now my ocean scene. I did want my fishing line to look like it was coming from the top of the water, so I took my black Copic marker and I did finish off the line. And then I took my white cardstock and I adhered it onto some blue cardstock. Once I was happy with the scene, I did take some foam dots to add my colored fish to my water scene. The foam dots just gave it that added dimension that I was looking for, and it really made my fish pop. So once I had all 3 of my fish adhered to my ocean scene, I did get out my gray Copic colors to color in the worm. And then from there, I adhered it to a white card base. Now I'm going to be adding some Nuvo drops, and the Nuvo drops that I'm going to be working with are the crystal clear ones, which work perfect for water droplets. But whenever I am working with the Nuvo drops, I do like it to be the last thing that I add to the card because there is some drying time. While Nuvo drops are always a great embellishment, there is some drying time required. So I always like that to be the last thing that I add to my card. So be sure if you are going to be working with some Nuvo drops that you do adhere your finished card onto your base and then add your final embellishments being your Nuvo drops, and then put the card aside to dry. So I hope that you've enjoyed my video and the process for creating my ocean scene. While the technique of using the acetate sheet is not new, it is a great technique to work to create that ocean imperfection. As always, I will leave a list of all the products that I've used to create this card along with the links to the stores. If you've enjoyed the video, I would sure appreciate a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of my video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you head out. And as always, I appreciate you stopping by. All right, everyone, we'll see you again next time.